Ants, they're tiny, they're everywhere, and let's be honest, most of us think they're just a nuisance at picnics. But what if I told you ants are stronger than bodybuilders, smarter than you think, and in some cases, victims of a real-life zombie apocalypse? Yeah, you're about to rethink every time you squished one. So buckle up. These are the most mind-blowing, insane, and downright weird facts about ants that will totally shock you. Let's start with strength. You know that old line, "He's strong as an ox"? Forget oxen. Ants are the real powerlifters of the animal kingdom. Some ants can lift 50 times their body weight. That's like you picking up a rhinoceros while climbing a wall, upside down. The reason is simple physics. Their small size gives them an insane strength-to-weight ratio. Combine that with ultra-efficient muscles, and they're basically nature's tiny bodybuilders. If ants ever entered a gym, they'd lift your entire workout and then bench press your self-esteem. Now let's talk communication. No phones, no group chats, no awkward Zoom meetings. Ants talk using pheromones, chemical messages they leave behind to guide their colony. When an ant finds food, it lays down a scent trail. Other ants follow that invisible chemical breadcrumb path. And just like that, you've got a full-on ant parade heading to your sandwich. They use different scents to say things like danger, food this way, or help, I've fallen and I can't get up. It's basically Twitter, but with smells. The efficiency is unreal. Speaking of unreal, it gets weird. Very weird. Because there's a parasitic fungus that turns ants into actual zombies. It's called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Say that 5 times fast. And it invades an ant's body, hijacks its brain, and forces it to climb to a high point. Once the ant latches onto a leaf, it dies, and the fungus erupts out of its head, releasing spores to infect more ants. This isn't sci-fi. This is your backyard. Imagine being mind-controlled, marched to your doom, and then used as a fungal cannon. Welcome to the bug version of The Walking Dead. Now, let's zoom out, literally. Because ants don't just form colonies. They build empires. Scientists estimate there are about 20 quadrillion ants on Earth. That's 2.5 million ants for every human being. And in places like Argentina, they've created super colonies that span over 3,700 miles. That's more than the entire width of the United States. Multiple queens, millions of workers. One mission: survive, expand, and maybe take over the world. Or at least, your kitchen. But they're not just spreading across the land. They're digging deep beneath it. Ant colonies are like underground cities, complete with ventilation systems, farming zones, nurseries, and even garbage dumps. In one experiment, scientists poured concrete into an abandoned colony. When they excavated it, they uncovered a vast, complex network that looked like a tiny alien civilization. The tunnels were so well designed they had airflow systems built in. Meanwhile, I still get winded trying to find my car in a parking garage. Now, if you thought that was strange, wait until you meet the honeypot ants. In certain species, a select few ants are chosen to become living food storage. Their job? Hang from the ceiling of the colony, full of sugary nectar. That's it. They're like organic vending machines. When food is scarce, the workers gently tap them, and they regurgitate the goods. Imagine being hired to be a living jelly jar. Evolution looked at a storage problem and said, you know what this needs? A bloated ant. And here's one final fact that'll make you question everything. Ants invented farming millions of years before humans did. Leafcutter ants don't eat the leaves they cut. Instead, they take them back to their colony to use as compost. They grow a special fungus on the leaves, and that fungus is their actual food. They even tend to their fungal crops, removing weeds and contaminants. These tiny farmers have agriculture, waste management, and quality control, all without Wi-Fi or opposable thumbs. So still think ants are just picnic pests? These tiny creatures are weightlifters, chemical messengers, zombie survivors, architects, pantries, and farmers. They are one of nature's most underrated superorganisms. The next time you see an ant crawling across your counter, maybe don't grab the spray. Give it a tiny nod of respect. If your mind is officially blown, hit that like button. Subscribe for more weird facts that make you question reality. And let me know in the comments. What was the craziest ant fact you learned today? Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and remember, the world is way stranger than it looks. Ito.